All right, guys, how you guys doing? So we are in our volleyball sport training this week. So our volleyball sport training this week, guys, we're gonna focus on a couple basic strikes and basic fundamentals. So we're gonna work on first doing a bump. Then we're gonna first focus on how to hit. So hitting the ball, what proper part of the hand we wanna hit with the ball while we're hitting the ball, as well as we'll work on setting. Okay, spiking and things like that, that's something we can get into as you're going through the training and you're practicing with the kids. But right now we're gonna focus on those three, and then I will show you a spike drill you can do with them as well. So guys, these are just basic fundamental things that I'm gonna have you guys teaching the kids when they're in camp, right? Or in after school, wherever we're doing it at, right? But when we're going through these guys, again, the goal is to break it all down, right? So as they're doing the process of these drills and these sets, you wanna make sure you're breaking it down to different parts. So again, it kind of helps you with the time factor, right? And your time management, as well as gives the kids the more fundamental definitions and skills and terms behind what it is that they're doing. So as you guys can see, I have a beach ball that we're gonna be using for our volleyball. Again, guys, everything that we do, we don't necessarily have to use the exact equipment to be able to teach the fundamentals that we want to do. I use the beach ball, one, because it's softer, right? So when they start doing drills back and forth, someone's just not getting whacked with the ball if they're not prepared for it. These are a lot softer. The kids actually have a lot more fun with these type of balls because the balls kind of go in different erratic places and things like that. So that's why we're gonna be using the beach balls for our volleyball training. Obviously, it's not a real volleyball, and we could possibly use a dodgeball or some of the other softballs that we have, but I don't want to use those because, again, just in case, we always got to think about safety, right? Just in case a ball gets to someone and it whacks them in the face, this wouldn't be as much, it wouldn't cause as much damage or hurt as much as one of those other balls. So we're gonna be using beach balls for our volleyballs. Again, the kids are gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna show you some of the drills that we'll do using the same volleyball skill sets, but the beach ball is what we'll be using, okay? All right, guys, so the first skill that we're gonna work on is we're gonna work on the skills without the actual ball, right? You're gonna show the kids the ball. They're gonna be super excited about being able to hit the ball. This is where you're gonna take that moment to really get them to focus on their opportunity to be able to hit the ball, right? So now, first we're gonna teach them guys, the first striking technique we're gonna teach them is called a bump. And what I want you to do is I want you to really get the kids to focus on forming their hands. Again, there's technical ways of doing it where I can fold my fingers inside or I can just collapse my hand like so, right? And what I want to teach the kids is I want to teach them, one, how to form their hands, right? So I want to form my hands by connecting them, and I can have my thumbs in this position as well, or I can overlap them, whatever you feel is fine. There's no real right, wrong, or reason for that, guys. Again, what we're trying to teach them is how to make contact with the ball from this position. So what we're gonna do is when we teach them this part of the technique, guys, what we wanna do first is show them how to do the hands position. After we show them how to do the hands position, we wanna make sure we teach them how to have their feet wide, right? And then what we wanna do is we want them to bend their knees and we want them to bump the ball, right? So most kids are gonna try to smash the ball, right? And they're gonna bring their arms all the way up. It's gonna be like this crazy theatrical type of hit. We don't want that, right? We want them to be calm. So we're gonna teach them all this before they actually get to the ball, right? So as a coach, your goal is to be able to teach them how to set their hands, set their body, bend their knees, here comes the ball, and bump. And you're gonna do it again. Set your hands, set your feet, bend your knees, here comes the ball, and bump, right? And teach them how to bump the ball. Now, what's gonna happen with most kids is that they're gonna bump their hands, they're gonna bend their arms. But when they bend their arms, they're not able to use this whole striking surface for when they're striking. So you want to teach them that they don't want to just focus on trying to hit with their hands. If they get it with their arms, that's good as well. And they don't want to try to hit it up this way. They want to try to hit it forward, right? So when they're bumping, they want to bump it back across over to the other net and or setting up one of their teammates for a strike to get it over the net or whatever the net would be. So now what's going to happen is as a coach now, you guys will have the ball. Now this is where, again, you train the bump as a drill, right? You've already done the warm-up, right? They did the warm-up, you did a little talking about what you guys are gonna be doing, you trained the bump as the drill. So again, we're talking about a 30-minute segment. You should be about 15 minutes in, right? So now what has to happen is you have to kind of look at the numbers of kids that you have, right? And you're gonna have however many beach balls you guys have. So what I would recommend, if there's just one coach, is I would have 2 lines of 6, and then 1 set of 12 waiting, right? So you'll have a group of kids just waiting while another kid is working or another group is working, okay? First person's up, I'm gonna toss the ball to them, they're going to bump the ball back to me. I get the ball, now I'm gonna toss to the other side, boom, they're gonna bump it back to me. Everyone's gonna go through maybe 2 or 3 times, so not a long time, and then you're gonna switch. You're gonna bring the next group up, Other group, have a seat. All right, here we go. Here goes your bump, boom. Here goes your bump, boom. They go through. Now let's do this. We're going to make it a competition now. So everyone in group 1, every time you guys get a bump and you bring that bump back to me as the coach, that's 1 point for your team. So you have 1, 2, 3. So you can get a total of 12 points for your team when you guys come up. As well as the other team now is going to have an opportunity to see how you guys are doing. And then they're going to come up and try to do the same thing with to beat your team. So again, now what happens is, now listen guys, I'm saying this with one coach, right? Most times you guys have 2 coaches. So I can have 1 coach on this line, 1 coach on that line. But if I only have 1 coach, this is how I would recommend that you guys do it. Have 12 up, have 12 waiting, boom, boom. Again, as we know, the kids on the side are gonna get a little squirrely. So if you have another coach floating or a director or someone floating, they can kind of help monitor these guys. And you as a coach as well, hey guys, make sure you guys are watching because we're gonna do a competition later. You wanna make sure you see the technique that we're doing because once you get that technique down, you're gonna be really good at trying to help your team win. Right? So what I did was I brought them in and I engaged them into what we're doing. And when I engage them into what we're doing, it helps them be more focused on what's happening, right? Again, guys, you're gonna have some kids that get squirrely. We know that's gonna happen, right? But the goal is for them not to get out of control on the side waiting. This is where some of your other coaches or directors can kind of help. If you have an LIT, the LIT can help as well, right? So again, we're just kind of go back and forth, boom, 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 boom. Now we did the bump with me tossing it, okay? Now what you can do is you can take those same teams or same splits and you can give each side a ball. And what they're gonna try to do is they're gonna try to bump it back and forth to each other, right? And again, the goal behind this is for them to develop a skill. So as we all know, these kids, once they start going, once they get going, they're gonna be bumping the ball up in the ceiling. They're gonna do all these things that we know that they're gonna think is funny or that they're gonna enjoy as far as them just being kids. We get that, right? We know that's gonna happen. So we pre-frame it. We know it's gonna happen. The minute we see it, we sit everyone down and we talk about the purpose behind what we're trying to do. We're working on this fundamental skill to help our team grow and develop. So if we're hitting the ball up in the ceiling or we're hitting the ball too far away, we're really not helping our team. Now, what we're gonna do as coaches is we're gonna make sure we monitor how you guys are working together. And if we feel that you are not working well with your partner, we're gonna get your partner someone else that's gonna help them be successful. Did you hear how I said that? This is how you have to, this is how you're able to control group. And I'm talking about 1 coach doing all this as opposed to 2, right? So again, let's say I had 2 groups up, they're just bumping the ball back and forth. They're both practicing bumps. You can pick the range as to where you want to go with the bump. Maybe if you got smaller kids, they'll be a little closer. Maybe if you got older kids, they'll be a little further away. You have to find that balance, right? There's no right or wrong reason. If it looks like they're doing well in a close space, obviously you can always move them back some as well. So again, this is just a bump, guys. If you do it correctly, you should be able to spend roughly about a half hour on this whole segment with your warm-up, with your pre-training, with your warm-up, your stretching, your pre-training, how to do the actual skill, then breaking the skill down in different ways, right? And that's just this 1 set. Okay, now when you guys come back, we're gonna work on actually striking. Here we are, guys, we're into striking now, okay? So again, our striking is gonna be us hitting the ball back over to our partner, back over the net, if we had a net, right? So on this one, same thing, we're gonna teach the drill, okay? This is a timing drill. They have to pay attention, just like how they did with their hands for the bump. It's all timing they gotta learn too. They gotta learn timing, reaction, distance, all that type of stuff. So you have to understand these things that they're learning and developing as they're going and use that as part of your verbiage, right? When you tell a kid they're working on their timing so they can react quicker, they're gonna respond to what you're trying to teach them better. Right? When you say we're trying to understand our distance, that means I got to make sure I don't hit it too far, but I also got to make sure I'm hitting it enough. That makes them understanding how they're striking and the power and strength they got to use in their striking, right? So when you understand these are the things that they're developing as a coach, you can use that in your terminology as you're helping them grow and to develop. You guys get what I'm saying? Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to go into striking, guys. So when we strike, when we're teaching kids how to strike, again, this could be combined with your bump, right? Again, if you're teaching too fast or you don't have good time management, you got to add something else. Well, then you probably want to do striking as well, right? So let's say you did the bump and that took you 7 minutes. Some of you guys do it that fast. It took you 7 minutes to do this whole bump drill that I just taught you guys how to do. I know the video itself is only about 3 minutes, but the whole drill should take about a half hour. But what I'm saying is if you do it fast, right? But now you're like, oh my God, I got time. What are we going to do? Go to the strike. Teach them how to do the striking. Right? If you have the ability to break it up, right, you can do 1 sport at this time, and then the second sport, you do the second part, that changes it up a little bit for you. But again, this gives you an opportunity to be able to break the drill down. So just like how we did the bump, right, we're going to teach them how to strike. So when I'm striking, we want to make sure that we jump. We want to hit with our palm, the bottom of our palm. So what we want our kids to do is we want to come up, arm up, hit. Again, they're going to come up, arm up, hit. All right, then, so after you teach them that motion, right, arm up, palm goes forward. Bottom of the palm is what they want to hit with. A lot of times when they hit, they're just hitting just to hit, right? Again, I'm telling you guys, we know this is going to happen. I'm speaking from a lot of experience doing this, that when you toss that ball up in the air, kids are going to smack. They're not going to care what part of the hand when they hit with. All they want to do is have this big kaboom on the ball. It's fine. We know it's going to happen, right? So we anticipate it. We tell them what we want to see from them. And although they're still going to probably do it that way, we're going to rein them back into what we need them to do, right? So again, coming up, bottom of the palm, hit it across. Coming up, bottom of the palm, hit it across. Now you're going to say, okay, guys, now we're going to take a step and jump and hit. Take a step, jump, and hit. And now they're going to actually have their jump to hit it back over. Does that make sense to everybody? So again, we'll just do it the same way that we did our bump, guys. Coach is here. I'm going to toss the ball up. That person's got to jump up, catch it, boom, hit it with the palm. I'm going to toss the ball up. Team's going to jump up, catch it, boom, hit it with the palm. The ball's going to go flying away back there. That's fine. Here's what I'm going to have you do. You have kids sitting down. Have one of those kids or two of those kids be your assistant, right? So they're back there getting the ball for you, bringing it back to you. They're not bumping it back to you. They're not throwing it back to you. They're bringing it back to you, and they're going right back to the outfield. If they're not able to do that successfully, just find another kid because someone else is going to want that spot, right? So you pick who it is, and you kind of work that way. Again, I'm teaching you guys how to manage your groups while it's just you doing it, right? You have to kind of listen to the lessons that I'm teaching you guys, how I'm showing you when and how to use these methods and these skills and these tools, and they're going to help you have a successful moment when you're trying to do this, right? So again, we're just going back and forth, going back and forth, going back and forth, back and forth. Then again, just like how we did the bump, now they'll be with the partner. Boom, boom, boom. And again, just like before with the bump, we were able to make it a competition. I can make this part of a competition. This team, great job, you guys had 8 points. This group, come on up. All right, boom, 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 boom. All right, oh, you guys only got 6. Remember, you got to hit it back to me, or you got to hit it past this space, or you got to get it over this so-and-so, right? And these are the ways you're going to build the drill. They're going to be learning a fundamental skill and technique, but they're also having fun, right? So this is the way that we're going to do it, guys. Again, that's our hit. Going to come up, boom, hit the ball, bottom of the hand. Again, I'm telling you guys, the kids are going to, when they get to that part, that's going to be like one of their favorite parts. They're going to smash it, right? They're going to smash it, and that's okay, right? We know what's going to happen, but now where do we teach from that point, okay? We don't say all these kids are out of control. We know what's going to happen, right? So we're just going to work on teaching from that point to get them to where we want them to go, all right? Cool. So next we're going to work on, guys, is setting. All right, so a set, guys, when the ball comes, they're just going to set it up, just a little bump, boom, of their hands. Again, this ball's go up kind of easy. Just a little bump of the hands, getting it up, all right? And what you do is same thing like how we did everything else, guys. Everything. The master of all skills, guys, is repetition, right? As a coach, for you to master your skill as a coach, you have to be able to take one thing, right? And everything that you do, you teach that one thing in the same steps, in the same mannerism, and the same methods, right? Everything, when you're able to do that, again, as I tell you guys, the consistency in what you do as far as your coaching goes is if you're doing it that way, and you're teaching the bump this way, you're teaching the set this way, you're teaching the hit this way, it all helps you become a better coach. Because now you're taking a different skill, but you're teaching it in that same method. You're just changing what that actual tool is, or that vehicle you are using to teach what it is that you want to teach, or to show what it is that you want to show. Right? So this is really important you guys understand that. So this is going to help you grow as a coach when you're doing these type of activities in sports and you're teaching this level of training and drill experience, right? So, same thing, guys, with the set. Now what happens, I'm going to toss it in, we're going to set it up. We're going to toss it, set it up, get it back to me, boom, 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 boom. Next we'll come up, same thing, boom, 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 boom. All right, now we're just going to set it, boom, to the partner, back and forth. I'm going to set it across, I'm going to set it across, I'm going to set it across. Then what you're going to do is you're going to have them, this is another drill, you're going to have, all right, this team, when you guys come up, I'm going to toss it to you. You got to set it for the other team. Other team, you got to do your bump. Boom, perfect. All right, ready? This line, this line, this line, this line, this line. All right, here we go. Now we're going to switch. You guys go bum, 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 bum. Next group up. All right, I'm going to toss it to you. You set it for them. They bump it. I toss it to you. You set it for them. They bump it. All right, switch. I'm going to toss it to you guys. You set it to them. They bump it. They strike it. Right? Now you've taken all 3 of the drills and you put them into one setting. Okay? Now, don't forget, before we do any of this, right, I'm doing my warm-up. I'm doing my breakdown of what we're going to be focusing on today, guys. This is the drill we're going to be working on. I want you guys to really be locked in and focused, ready to do these drills with me today. Are you guys ready? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? We do our warm-up. All right, let's get our bodies warmed up. Here we go. You guys ready? Boom, 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 boom. Awesome. All right, here we go. Everyone lock it up. Here's what I need us to do. I'm going to have 2 groups, or how many groups, or this group, 1, 2, 3, 4. You go here, you go here, you go here, you go to this group, you go to that group. Me and Coach so-and-so are going to toss the balls back and forth to you guys. This is how we're going to be doing the drill. Are you guys ready? Yes, sir. All right, I need you guys to be super focused, super locked in to be your very best. You guys ready to do that? Great, let's do it. And go. Boom. Volleyball drill, done. That's just the basic drill, guys. Passing back and forth, learning the skill, working together as a group, okay? Now I'm going to show you guys how do we do it when we have barriers now, right? So we don't have a net. I have some coming. They won't be here by the time volleyball is over this week. But we don't have an actual volleyball net. So what do we do? What do we do? I don't know. What do we have? What kind of equipment do we have? All right, so I'm going to pause the video. When I come back, guys, I'm going to show you what I would recommend you do out here in Camillus, as well as out in Liverpool. And any other location that we have, guys, the tools that you have are right there for you. They may not be the same as Camillus. It may not be the same as Liverpool, but you have tools that you can use that you guys have to be creative within how you use them. All right, so 1 second, guys, I'll be right back, and I'll get this for you. All right, guys, so I said we don't have nets, right? We don't have nets. We don't have nets in the facility. I'm going to probably order some nets. They probably won't be here in time for volleyball in this session that you guys are doing, but I'm going to be ordering some nets for us. But we don't have nets. So if I don't have nets, what do I have, right? So I'm just going to kind of show you guys some things that I just pulled out of just kind of looking around the room. Like, what can I use as a net? Okay, a net is just we're talking about, why is the net there? The net is something that you got to try to get the ball over, right? To get to the other side of the other team. So here's what I'm looking at. Okay, here at Champions and Camillus here, we have the karate bags, right? You guys don't have karate bags? Oh my God, what are you guys gonna use if you don't have karate bags? You guys have a bunch of ninja trick stuff, right, in Liverpool? So if you have the ninja trick stuff, you can set up a barrier, whether it be like this, whether it be kind of spread out, right? You use 2 or 3 spread out. They don't have to be connecting, but you have a barrier that you're trying to get things over with, right? Everyone's got chairs, right? So we can always use chairs. If we need to use chairs, again, it's not like the kids will go crashing into the chairs. And if the chairs are there, we understand that it's a higher level of safety we have to be aware of. So we're going to pre-frame the kids as to how to approach when they get close to the chair. Simple and easy. If it's too close, don't go for it. Let it come over and we reset. As a coach, you have to pre-frame the kids on that, because if you don't, they're going to go crash into the chairs and they're going to be like, oh my God, they ran into the chairs. Well, you didn't pre-frame them to help them be ready, right? Everyone has the small cones there, right? You guys got small cones in Liverpool. We got them here in Camillus campus as well, and you probably have them at any other campus that we have. We all have the taller cones. I have these sets of cones. We have bigger cones as well. Everyone's got foam. You got foam, so you can use the foam as a net back and forth. You guys have, here in Camillus, we're going to have about 90 kids. So 90 kids all have 2 pairs of shoes. That's at least 180 pairs of shoes. In Liverpool, you probably have about 50 to 60. So that's probably like 120, all right, shoes that you can use to make a line and make a barrier if you chose to. Water bottles. Everyone's got water bottles. All the kids have water bottles. Use the water bottles as a net or barrier to practice hitting back and forth and over with, right? So what I'm telling you guys is that you guys on your campuses, you have to be innovative, right? You have to be creative within what you're doing and what the goals that you want to try to achieve. Is it going to be perfect? Is it a net? Absolutely not. But can they still learn the drill and the practice the skill that we want them to learn? We absolutely can teach them that, right? So again, if I had the net, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the groups up into teams, right? So again, if I had 6 here and I had 6 there, maybe on this group, there'll be a set of 2 that will play together while 1 is out, and then that 1 will rotate in. And what you'll have to do is practice bumping, right? So my team's gonna bump to that team, they bump back and forth, we're just bumping back and forth the teams, right? Okay, now we work on striking. I'm gonna strike across, you're gonna strike across. Again, you can make it a competition where it's just this team against that team, or you could say collectively, you 2 are a team together, working together. So if I'm bumping to you, you have to secure the bump back to me so we can keep it going back and forth. And our team is trying to get to 10. You guys understand what I'm saying? right? So now you don't have kids just randomly just coming up, hitting the ball, and doing whatever they want. They're still following the structure of what we've been teaching them along the way and through our training that we've been doing, right? So again, as we talked about volleyball, guys, we have 4 days, 5 days of volleyball, how many days we're going to be doing it. These are ways that you can break it all up. Say on Monday and Wednesday, you did part 1 of your sport was the bump and the hit, and the other part was the setting, and then you did a combination of bump, hit, and setting. That's the 2 that you'll do on Monday and Wednesday. Now on Thursday, you're gonna practice this drill, right, with the net and with your team and with your group, right? And then on Friday, be your choice. Now, when you come to using the net, what should we practice first? We should practice the bumping back and forth. Bump, 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 bump. Practice with the teammates. Bump, bump, bump. Now it'll be a little shorter, a little brief, a little shorter time. And then we will add the net and the barrier they have to go over, right? So again, I hope you guys are following on what I'm trying to get you to understand on volleyball. And this is how you guys should be running your volleyball for the week. Monday and Wednesday should be the actual bump, hit, strike, setting training. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, you can do these drills. Also, guys, you have the game cards or the sports cards out there as well. They can use that to kind of improvise some of their drills as well. Again, we don't have a net, so if it says it on the thing that you have to have a net, it's net games, which is volleyball or some other net things I think they have. We don't have a net, so we got to create our own net, and you guys have to be creative as to how you're going to articulate what it is you want the kids to be able to do, and that's how you're going to be able to control the group and get them to learn the skill we want them to learn. Okay? All right, so that's what we got for volleyball this week. Guys, knock it out. If you have any questions, just put it in the group chat or shoot me a message, text me, and I'll get you guys information you need to help you be successful. All right, guys, thank you. Have a great week, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye now.